With guest Kevin Cowerman, who is a good friend of mine, and we just got done watching the art house film Drive, which is about a guy who is a stuntman for Hollywood by day, and by night he is a driver in which he does illegal activities for people. He gives these people 5 minutes. 5 minutes, he is all theirs. Will drive them anywhere and everywhere. And then after his 5 minutes, he just leaves them. Now, it's got layers to it, but I don't really want to talk about those layers just yet. I just want to first hear your thoughts on the film, Kevin, because I've seen this film 7 or 8 times. I can talk about it all day, but I want to hear your thoughts on it first.
Well, honestly, walking into it for the first time, you showing me this, I didn't know what to expect. You had mentioned it was an art house film, and of the few art house films I've seen, you can never know what to expect of them. And being a car buff and having seen a lot of car films with chases before, it was hard to kind of predict what the film would be like mixing the two together. But I felt after watching this that it was an excellent balance between a few car chases and how they were perfectly laid out, and the rest of the romantic mystery film that it was.
Which the romance for me was probably the film's main asset, because you have these two characters who are extreme introverts, and they're able to relate to each other so well. I mean, my coworker, for instance, he kind of flat out told me this is probably one of the best romances out there, because it doesn't like flaunt stuff in your face the way a Nicholas Sparks film might do it. No, it is very detailed. It is subtle things in which, if you're not really an introvert, or if you don't really analyze people, you're not really going to be able to pick up on it. I mean, I analyze people, and I can kind of relate to introverts, so that's why I was able to. Like, you mentioned, I remember when we were watching the film, the hallway scene, just like the greatness of it. Would you like to talk about that?
Of course. There's a scene where there's a party going on. She steps out because she's bothered by the noise, and as he's coming out, they just stare at each other for a good solid 10 seconds. And you can just tell they have the same personality, and they're able to just understand each other, feel each other. The emotion of that scene is quite vivid. And in fact, that was portrayed throughout the movie many times. Just 10 seconds or so, just staring, or just no sound, no talking. It gets to you, and you can really understand it.
It's just a visual-driven story.
Absolutely.
The soundtrack was great. Yeah, they balanced a lot of songs. They sound like they're from the 80s, but believe it or not, they came out in the early 2000s, the songs. And the soundtrack itself is incredible. I actually own the soundtrack. I listen to it quite frequently, and I imagine myself as the driver when I'm like driving, because
It has a cool soundtrack.
oof, it does. There's not a lot of music, but when there is, it really has an impact on you. And speaking of impact, maybe we should talk about the violence in the film, because I know there were some viewers out there that might be off put by the violence. The first 45 minutes, profanity aside, you could probably watch with your family all together. But then, again, without spoiling anything, there's a hotel scene, and something happens to one of the characters involving a shotgun. And it's like a huge surprise. I mean, it comes out of nowhere. Like
Pulls out a shotgun. She's like, "Oh!" Blows her head straight off.
Yeah.
Violence I haven't seen ever before in the film.
Very, very realistic. You could have killed me. You realize that?
I wasn't trying to. Just don't get in the way. So.
I'm trying not to. You with the gun. But the film does such a great job with when the violence happens. It really has an impact on you. Most films, it's like glamorized, like Fast and Furious, like, oh, we got a 50, what was it? How long was that?
Probably about 50 miles.
And Fast and Furious 6? It's ridiculous. This isn't a Fast and Furious film. In fact, some lady sued this company that made Drive because she's like, you advertised it as an action film. Well, lady, it's too bad you can't appreciate an art house film and have to base your opinion off the trailer, which at some point, guys, I might do a review about trailers and the ups and downs, but that's for another time. Overall, the first time I watched this film, I loved it, but I thought that the pacing was a little off-putting, but upon watching it multiple times, I really appreciate the pacing because of how realistic it is. How realistic it is to life. How life itself is slow at times, but then it can hit you right in the face and then be interesting. And this film, although interesting throughout, there are more interesting moments than other scenes. And each scene speaks on its own. It reminded me a lot of a Wes Anderson film where each scene could be an art picture. Like, it's just great. No negatives for me. Any negatives for you, Kevin?
No, absolutely not. Just, I was really fascinated by the audio of the film, the soundtrack.
Oh, the Blu-ray's fantastic.
It's a wonderful film. Viewing it in that formatting, overall flawless for me. 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. I also give it a 5 out of 5 star rating, guys. This is an A+ film. You have to watch it if you haven't already, and if you have, give it a rewatch. I know we didn't do an analysis of it, but this is one of those films I could talk about all day.
No spoilers.
No spoilers whatsoever. This is the type of film you watch with friends, and afterwards you can talk about it hours on end, with coffee, of course, especially late at night. But see it as soon as you can, and as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. And if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button. And Kevin, thank you very much for being on my channel.
Thank you.
Catch you guys later.